Well, hello everyone. Here we are in Berea as the Browns prepare to face the Pittsburgh Steelers, the 2-7 Browns. And of course, all the talk is who is going to start at quarterback. We just got done talking to both guys, and I would have to say, Josh McCown sounded a little bit more optimistic than he did last week, but he didn't really sound to me super confident that those ribs are ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't imagine, that's an injury I just can't imagine playing with because it affects so much of your breathing, just being comfortable. So we'll see. It certainly sounds like Pettine wants him to be the quarterback, as when we talked to them, coach on Monday, but we'll see.
Yeah, you know what? Of course, the plan is to start Josh McCown if he's healthy. That's the operative word, if he's healthy. And, today he said, I'm still in pain. And the thing that I have, he said, it's going to take a long time to deal with. So, nobody's saying it, but the dirty little secret is we all know those ribs are cracked somewhere. It's just a matter of, can he put a flak jacket on? Can he, maybe take a pain shot or whatever they do these days and get out there and hope that he doesn't take a hit that knocks him out of the game.
Yeah, and remember a couple years ago, Trent Richardson really played for a long stretch with cracked ribs. So we'll see if McCown can do it. We know he's a pretty tough guy.
And we also talked to Johnny Manziel today. He was excited when he showed up today, and his name was there, #1, to take those first team reps. Josh was limited. He just threw the ball around a little bit. It's only Wednesday. He's still hoping to be ready to go. But Johnny Manziel got in there, and he wants to build upon the first half of his game in Cincinnati.
Yeah, there was a lot of positives there. It did miss some receivers, but there was a lot of positives there. Obviously, the second half, there weren't very many positives. Cincinnati sat back in that cover 2. They kept those ends not upfield, and Johnny had to throw from the pocket, and it was a struggle. The whole offense was a struggle. In his defense, he had a couple drops. He had some balls dropped, but it was a really poor half. I think he threw, what 40 yards or something like that?
Yes, exactly. And you know what? Again, those two ends that you're talking about, they were 6'6" and 6'7", and he talked about that today. He admitted that when he is in the pocket, he has to try to see over and throw over guys like that. And at 5'11" and a half, which is what he described himself as today, that is going to be a tall order. No pun intended, Tom.
Yeah. Well, now let's be honest. Now there are other quarterbacks in the league that are, Drew Brees, Russell Wilson, that they've learned to cope. So Johnny's going to have to learn to play from the pocket. And that's something obviously that caused a lot of stir last week because of Mike Pettine, how he talked about it at halftime. But hey, he's being honest. I mean, you have to learn to play this game in the pocket. You can certainly make a couple of Johnny football plays here and there, but your bread and butter is going to be made in that pocket.
Yeah, and you can bet that the Steelers watched the Bengals tape and they know the formula. Pinch him in there, hem him in there, and see what he can do. And when we look at some of the other situations going on in the team right now, whoever's at quarterback will have a couple more receivers. That's because Brian Hartline and Andrew Hawkins are both back from their concussions.
Yeah, and I'd like to see Andrew Hawkins get a little bit more involved, and that's obviously not something he can just do on his own. But Mary Kay, he was one of their top receivers last year, and you look at his numbers are down. He's just a guy that they're not getting the ball to, and I thought he was very reliable last year. It'd be nice to get Brian Hartline back. He had the 2 touchdowns in the last game. You think some of those drops that he had may have been related to the concussion that he ended up suffering. So, maybe get him going on a little bit of a roll.
Yep, they should have a full complement of receivers this week. What they won't have is a full complement of defensive backs. That's because Joe Hayden and Dante Whitner are still in the concussion protocol. At this point, I don't expect them to play.
And it's not like Pittsburgh has any great receivers, right? It's not like 300. No one's like catching nearly 300 yards a game, right?
No, boy, Antonio Brown. We'll talk about him more when we do our preview later this week. But Antonio Brown without Joe Hayden, that's going to be it could be a tough afternoon for whoever has to cover him.
Yeah, and then you have a guy like Martavius Bryant. I mean, they've got some weapons. I mean, they're probably not going to have Ben Roethlisberger, which is going to be a huge plus for the Browns, and no Le'Veon Bell, but they've still got some receivers.
They certainly do, and like you said, probably no Ben Roethlisberger. He's almost been basically ruled out for this game. He's 18-2 against the Browns. Even Mike Pettine kidded around today. Do you think it's a break if Big Ben doesn't go? We certainly do. So stick with us all week. We'll have everything about the Browns and Steelers right here on Cleveland.com.